I suppose I could find a replacement, although he is a good technical player, so I'll have to consider that in later episodes. Set pieces, don't know why I clicked on that. So yes, I will go through these individual player instructions in the next episode. I have run over here, so this might be the start of the next episode actually, but thanks for watching again. If you could drop a like, a favourite, any of that. I know I've only just started and these aren't going to be the best quality videos that you've ever seen. My ability in Football Manager will certainly be questioned over the next few weeks in the game, but we'll find out how we do, where we go, and if we can win the league. So thank you for watching again. I am Ioki, and thank you for watching. Hello, 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 and welcome to the third video of this Football Manager Let's Play. Today we are going to be putting the players in the right positions. As you can see here, I have used the attribute filter kind of thing. So if you go and click on a player in your team, so I'll find him there, Alan Connell. I was going to, as you can see there, I've actually made a change in strikers. I was going to have Davita up there, but if we go into his profile and you view personal details, if you view the reports, you can see in the position little box here it says striker, but his favourite position is advanced forward, and if you put that alongside Paul Benson, whose favourite position I think is poacher. Oh crap, it's target man. Oh, that's an interesting development. Okay, target man. So yeah, actually, yeah, no, I'm going to have Alan Connell as trequartista, or however you pronounce it, next to Paul Benson as the target man. See how that works. If it doesn't pan out, then we can make some adjustments. But what I'm trying to do mostly here is playing players in their favoured positions. I don't know how effective it is, but it's something to try. You also want, as I said before in the last episode, you want to have the right combinations. Obviously you can't have two totally attacking players. Trequartista kind of sits in between the midfield and the attack, does a lot of leg work. So if we look at Alan Connell's natural fitness, we've got 12, stamina 11, can do the job but probably needs substituting at some point in the second half, whereas Paul Benson is kind of going to hang up there, get into the right position, take the ball down, hopefully finish it, if not pass it. I mean, his passing stat isn't brilliant, he's not a perfect player, but at the end of the day he can do a lot, and I want to try him out in this new position. If we look at Simon Ferry and Lee Cox, they're both in their favoured positions. Something very important tactically that I wanted to include and show you guys was what I'm going to do with their through ball instructions. If we go into player instructions and go into show instructions, if you can see here, Simon Ferry's through balls are onto often, which is how we want it for an attacking player. But if you actually look at Lee Cox as well, his passing 12, determination, actually that's not important, decisions, technique's quite important. Technique is kind of your the size of your footballing vocabulary, so the amount of different ways you can do something. If you're in a difficult position and you can only do one thing one way, and the defender's kind of blocked you from doing it that way, then you're going to lose the ball. However, if you can do it two different ways and they've only blocked one of them, then you do it the other way and you're fine, you keep going. Technique of 11 in League 2, any stat that's around 13 is optimal. Anything that's 11, you know, or 10 is generally okay and will do the job. His creativity again is 11, natural fitness, he can get up and down. He is an all-round decent centre midfielder for League 2, a very decent centre midfielder. But what's important is he can play a good passing game. So as you can see here, he's got through balls onto rarely, whereas you want to start that to often because he can make those long balls. Again, if he's going to be sitting deep, I want him to win the ball and whip it up to Benson. He can take it down, knock it through to Alan Connell, who could have a shot on goal, or Ferry could be moving up there. You know, Ferry doesn't score too many goals for Swindon in real life, but it's a hope. Keep drinking my water. So I will just look at two or one more player, Wesley Fodringham, as you can see here. All throughout the season, I'm normally given lots of reports of other goalkeepers that are basically the same as Wes in ability. What my scouts seem to be forgetting is the fact that, you know, he's got brilliant potential. In real life, he's a godsend to Swindon. I don't think you can have a title-winning team without a quality goalkeeper, and that's definitely what we've got in him. So right there, that is why I want to keep Wes Fodringham in goal if I can. Sometimes he does perform poorly, and I want to pit him up against Phil Smith for that position. I know we've let him go in real life, Phil Smith, recently. He was our kind of second guy for a lot of the later stages of last season. So right now, I've got a list of things that I wanted to get done. A lot of it was tactics, seeing as I've done that. Yeah, actually I wanted to talk about youth. I've never really looked at youth before, and I actually don't know where I can find it. If I just go down here actually, into under 18, OTA 18, is that German? I don't know, under. Let's say under. So yeah, I'm going to pick out one player, and his name is Miles Story. I think he came on about a season ago for Swindon in our last game where we lost 2-0 to Oldham, something like that. He did a job. But as you can see here, if you look at his potential, and that's generally what I go on, right now he's got 1 star of ability, which for a youth player is actually pretty good. As you can see there, he's going to become hopefully going to become a good championship striker in the future. So at the end of the day, I do want to bring him through. So we'll, no, not offer him to club, sorry, offer a contract. Yeah, what am I doing? And as you can see there, any youth player that you're going to bring through is going to be on minimal wages, and it is brilliant. If you look at things such as the yearly wage rise, I think for 1 or 2 year contracts they're not too much of a problem, and for £120 a week it's not unreasonable. But generally when you're negotiating with a player, you want to get rid of the wage rises and instead give them, say, a loyalty bonus, because all in all, when it all adds up, you're not going to be spending as much on wages. Additionally, loyalty bonuses aren't actually counted as part of your expenditure, so you don't really lose out on too much. You can, you know, fork out more for contracts on other players, and you still have that money available. I think that's reasonable after 20 games. I don't think he's going to get played 20 times this season, and even if he does, you know, they're minimal wages for a League 2 player anyway. Appearance fee £45 and goal bonus £10. If that inspires you to go on, then, you know, that's brilliant. I'm going to suggest those. Going to be difficult now, aren't you? I don't want to mess him about too much. If he had an angel agent, then I could pay him quite a bit of money. But so let's offer him 5k in total. I haven't actually done the maths for this, so I could be losing more money. But it's, as I said, it's always best to not let them have those wage bonuses. If they're your star striker for Man United, then they're going to be adding on an extra 30 grand every year or whatever, something stupid like that, to their contract, which is really going to dig into, you know, developing youth players or whatever. As you can see here, it's a reasonable deal, and I did want to bring him through. So there's my first kind of my first capture of the transfer season. I think, was there any other players? I've got a little list of things I wanted to do. Now, here we go, here's another hot prospect. I did find this guy's a sort of, I think he's a regen, but he might be a real person. I actually don't know. Should Google, might leave that in the description actually. Conrad, can't spell, Conrad Balotelli. Nothing like Balotelli. He's a centre back. You can't see his value, but I think he's about 250, 300k. The beauty of this guy is that he's only 20, yet his stats are just about the same as my best defenders. I've scouted this guy before in previous saves, so I don't need to see how good he'll be. As you can see there, really reasonable wages. I don't want to give him those, so instead I'm going to try and give him a 10k, 15k loyalty bonus. If you guys have any other tips for negotiating, please drop them in the comments, because I could really do with that in future episodes. I don't actually want him as backup. I'm going to put him in my first team because he develops really, really well. I don't want to add too much of that. Also, if you give them a ridiculous goal bonus, generally for things like centre-backs who don't go forward for goals, you can give them 1.3k, but this guy does actually score quite a bit. Team of the Year, I'll give him that. So there you go. I don't know if Team of the Year comes out of your contract funds, but it is right at the end of the season, and it's right at the start of the season now, so I'm not too worried about that. Okay, so if we look at our team again, I know this is very tedious and I should just get on with the season and play a few games, but it is about having the right setup at the end of the day. Callum Kennedy, as you can see there, he can do a job definitely in left back, and he will develop into a quality kind of League 1, League 2 player. But right now we do need some kind of strength there. I have been looking through other random players, and I found a guy called David Crawley, who I think is quite old, who's 34, yes, considerably old. You can see there his marking's not brilliant, but for a fullback, as he's not man marking, he's kind of zonal marking, it's not that important. What I wanted him for was his kind of influence, kind of steady the ships in defence, and also his corners. I want to bring in Balotelli for his ability to run up and score at corners, the near post. So if this guy can whip in some brilliant corners as well, then I think it's vision. I think it's on FIFA. Decisions, technique, not particularly brilliant. But I will approach to sign this guy. As you can see there, reasonable wages. He's not asking for too much. I kind of want to negotiate it down because I'm not going to have him for too long. But I can work with that. That's fine. So that will be hopefully our second signing of the season. A solid left back who can be occasionally replaced if he gets unfit. Our second guy, our third guy from an actual team, I think he played for a team, is Corey Gregory, who's is a young player who plays for Sheffield United. Now, I'm not going to go in and throw a stupid 300k bid for him, even if his wages are quite low, and he's definitely going to be a good player when he's older. What I want to do, and if you look at view personal details, if you look into the happiness of younger players, you can see if they want to go on loan. So as you can see, they're hoping to gain first team experience from going on loan. That's where you can go in and throw on a bid and see if you can get him. So I don't really need to get a report on him on a loan. His wages are very reasonable, so I can deal with that. I would be happy to throw that on actually as well, because I'm not going to be spending much money of my transfer budget on anybody, and I would love to get this player actually. So I will throw that on there to see if I can get that. If not, we can kind of negotiate. I don't want to pay 300k for him, which is probably what he's actually worth. I will leave it at that. I don't mind that because they're going to get back to us. So I'm going to make that offer, and I think I'm going to end that episode here. So again, thanks for watching. If you could drop me a like, a favourite, any of that, really appreciated. Small channel, trying to get up and running. So thank you again for watching. Much appreciated. I've been